Hello and welcome, my friends. It is I, Jaffa. This is once again Jaffa Plays. Let me make sure that the Twitch chat came back, or the Twitch sound came back. It's commercials right now. The Twitch chat came back. Alright. So hopefully that came through alright. Okay, here at my base. Ta-da! Yeah. What I wanted to go ahead and do is show you what I worked on after the recording last week. I stayed on and did some Twitch streaming. I did not publish that as a YouTube. Now, for any of the YouTubers, you won't notice the difference, but for the Twitchers, yeah, I started about 20 minutes late. So, for the Twitch people, I realize I did just a real quick intro, but I do apologize about being late. So, my week so far, yay! This has been an interesting week. I had been on vacation, so I went back to work, and just kind of interesting things at work. Nothing too special, nothing really to talk about. But then I got sick. The sniffles that you hear now is not just the Raynaud's, which I found out the Raynaud's symptoms can also be being caused by a deficiency of some mineral. So we're going to test me to see if taking that mineral will actually cause these symptoms to go away. So, but anyway, yeah, I got quite a bit sick, and my IRL blog that I normally do, I normally record it on Thursdays. Well, Thursday, I managed to work all day, but as soon as I got home from work, I was out. I was gone. Okay, now you see this. This right here is while I've been in the area. I clean out these every time that I leave the area. This is the spawn chunks, okay? Nice blue and white spawn chunks. If you die and your bed's destroyed, this carpeted area, which is lit up from underneath and has bedrock underneath that. I can even show you that. Ah, bedrock. Anyway, this nice little carpeted area, which I can't get back in. There it goes. This is spawn, which means spawn chunks are supposed to be a 4x4 section around this area. Now, I found out a few things about spawn chunks. Apparently, they're not all loaded. The 2x2, where spawn is exactly in the center of the 2x2, they stay loaded. Oh, hold on a sec. Sorry about that. I felt a sneeze coming on. Okay. But anyway, the 2x2, where spawn is, they stay loaded. Everything else goes through a periodic check every 45 seconds or so. It's around 45 seconds. Every chunk that is loaded automatically deloads and then reloads if there's a player in the area, or if a player is entering the area. If a player's in the area, it keeps it from unloading. So that means that this long tunnel, which this actually has an ice stream in it. Ice and water pushes the iron from the farm down through there, and then it falls down into that hopper system. But that means that this area right here does not get loaded all the time. It is only loaded if someone is standing on that platform, or up here. That's the old iron farm. We couldn't figure out why that broke, and so I built this. This is basically my old farm. I went ahead and did it properly, in my opinion. I used the half slabs, which is a lighter gray, instead of cobblestone. And then I have doors on every available spot. If you notice here on this bottom level, there are doors here, doors here, but on the upper two levels there's not. That's because there's villagers there. Now that I think about it, these are not counted as valid doors either. Anyway, I have my access doors for shoot. Have my access doors for coming down and clearing out golems that get stuck in the middle. Except for that, Except for that is a 4x4, so they should not get stuck. Go up one more level, and you can see that where the villagers are, no doors. Up above them, oh, I guess there are doors right there. Does that mean... That means that lower section is actually wrong. Okay. Come down here. Yeah, see, these are not valid village doors. So let me go remove these others. Wondered what happened here. But we remove them. And then half slab, half slab, half slab. Upside down, upside down, upside down. This makes it so nothing can spawn in this area. Let me go and make sure that nothing else was done that way. Nope, I had that one correct. And that one is correct. And I know this other one's correct because that's when I checked it on. Okay, so 3 out of 4, not bad. Anyway, go ahead and throw those in there. As you can see, my leftover supplies. I've actually ran about 8 more stacks of these back to my other base. But anyway, there's the villagers. That's not all the villagers. I did kind of cheat. I used my admin powers to spawn egg these guys in there. We have a village. I could have done it 100% legit, but it just takes too much time. So literally there are, let's see, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 72 villagers. With 72 villagers, the fact that 1 iron golem spawns per 10 villagers in a valid village, that means that there should be approximately 6 or 7 golems spawning every 10 minutes in this farm. There's not. I don't know why there's not. I have not figured that part out yet. Apparently I can't figure out how to use the ladder. Okay. But anyway, the spawn rates are lower than what they should be, and it keeps unloading as soon as I leave the area. This is a major problem. So what we had done, and I'm going to go ahead and game mode this, and I'll show you what we did way down here. This is bedrock level. There it is. You see this lovely little chain. These are updaters. The pistons push slime blocks, which can't move the bedrock, so it doesn't even try, and then moves the redstone into position to push the next set of pistons. Let's get back in there. There we go. So as you can see, these things, they update the blocks inside of this area, aka these chunks, multiple times, and yet it's not keeping the chunk loaded when we leave the area. I don't know how else to do it. The fact that I had to use admin powers. No, that wasn't right. The fact that I had to use admin powers. There we go. Just to try and fix something that, you know, I mean, if you read on the wiki, it says that the chunks, the spawn chunks, are 16 chunks around spawn. Not the 16 blocks around spawn. I think that's actually what it is. I think it is the 16 blocks around the spawn. And if that's the case, then when we go to 1.9, which we will be keeping this particular seed and just finding a new area. What are they shooting at? They shouldn't even be active with me this far away. Is there another player? No. Interesting. Maybe they're shooting at squid. Anyway, yeah, so if this is the case, if this is the entirety of what we can have active, then we're going to have to build this platform, complete with the portal to get out of there, up in the sky when we go to the 1.9. What our plan for 1.9 is to use the same map, go into the nether, and go about 10,000 blocks. Pick a direction and go. About 10,000 blocks in the nether would be about 80,000, or would be exactly 80,000 blocks in the overworld. So we would be in a completely different generated part of terrain, and so that's what we're going to be doing for. Actually, it may not be 10,000 blocks. We may just do like 2,000 or 5,000 or something like that. But it's going to take a lot of effort. So what I've been talking with Diol about, because we do have the ability and we already plan on using bedrock for the spawn area for players, is go ahead and use our admin ability to make a nether, either a nether tunnel at the top or break through the bedrock and go that way. That way no zombie pigmen can spawn in the area that we're going to. But those are minor things. Those are server maintenance things. Because it is he and I's server, we can go ahead and make that call and just take into account Am and the other people that are on the server. We take their feelings into account, but if they're not opposed to it, I think that's just what we'll do. We'll have a nether hub built using creative, and then from there branch out to individual bases. But yeah, if that is the case, then what we're going to have to do, and let's say I'll go ahead and use this as an example. If we say that the area where this black and white here meet, right in the very center, is the spawn chunks, then we're going to have to build our farm directly above that. Directly above that. To where it will always stay loaded. Yeah, that's probably what we're going to end up doing, is something like that, to where it's always loaded, it's always producing. And that means that no one can build in the area basically where the glass is. There will be a certain area that no one will be permitted, I don't want to say allowed, but no one would be permitted to build in that area, because we will be trying to keep it as persons free as possible, so that no zombie apocalypses happen. But those are things that Diol and I have been talking about. So yeah, chances are we'll be staying with this same seed, so I can come back and revisit this Elder's Dell, which means I don't necessarily need to build a new Elder's Dell. I could actually go in a different direction and build a different type of base. Now, I have not had time with my work schedule to consider what kind of base I would be building. So, yeah, those are things to think about. What you can do, though, is anyone on the Twitch chat could go ahead and just tell me now, or you can send a email to my to the email that I provided for contact. You can send an email with base ideas. That's what else I wanted to do. Anyway, with ideas about what I can do for the base. It's kind of an interesting idea that I'd be able to revisit this base, both the mountain base and the well, that sucks, and the Elder's Dell. Sorry, thought I had been in the area long enough. Now, what is this? What is that? Oh well. Not gonna worry about it right now. So those are plans for the bases. Let's see, what else? Oh, yes, the end. We're not planning on attacking the end until we go to 1.9. We had originally planned on doing the dragon fight before 1.9. But the fact is that none of us is really equipped and ready. We're not a collaborative type of server. Each of us are doing our own things. In fact, two of our members actually use the same computer to play online, so only one of them can play at a time, which is, you know, fine and understandable considering that they're not newlyweds; they're engaged to be married. But to each other. Anyway, yeah, so they're all kinds of engaged, and they only have one computer to split between them. So it really wouldn't be fair to invite them and have only one of them be able to be on and participating. Don't know what we're going to do about that. Don't know if there's anything we can do about that, really. Let's see, I'm trying to think of other stuff. The the new snapshot. Oh my god. The glider. I can't remember what it's called, but the fact that you can glide in Minecraft. Game changer. Let me explain just a little bit. Gotta come over here to explain this just a little bit. Oh, I forgot to check something. Gotta come over. Okay. Sorry, when I had to mute it because of the sneeze, I forgot to check to see if it came back with me. I'm thinking about extending that tunnel underneath the village so that I don't have to keep coming through the village right here. Oh, yes. Something happened. Something killed the iron golem and the villagers over here. I mean, seriously. I didn't think the iron golems could actually be killed that easily. And it could have been the glitches, because I am suffering quite a few number of glitches in that area. The sheeps are the main example. Anyway, game changer moment, right? I would be able to jump up here, come to the edge, you equip the thing right here in place of your chest piece, and you jump, and you have these wings that allow you to glide. If you're holding horizontal like this, you will glide 10 blocks that way for every block that you fall. So, little bit of a game changer. If you aim up higher, you begin to stall. If you aim lower, you do speed up. So you can actually do a speed run where you aim down, come in close, pull up, and raise a certain number of blocks. You will continue to stall, and you know there's flight mechanics in the game now. That is awesome. Oh, yes, the other thing about the current snapshot, the glitchivator, which no, I do not have an example of the glitchivator here. Let's go down one more. I do not have an example of the glitchivator here, but the glitchivator is where, if you remember in my old mob farm, which technically the mob farm still does work. Okay, 2 of these guys have gotten out. One's right there. I don't know where the other one's at. But the glitchivator is that you're sending something through an ice stream, it hits a fence post, and then glitches upwards into a block. And since an entity cannot be in a block, it glitches up and glitches up and glitches up, and continues to do this until it runs into an airspace, which usually has a water stream, and continues the streaming for managing the blocks. You know, like a hopper or something like that. Anyway, let's see, do I have... No, I do not. Anyway, the glitchivator has been fixed. What they did is they made it to where all entities, including these guys, cannot puncture a solid block. Their hitboxes will actually hit a solid block. So this right here, this guy right there, and this guy right there would not be able to glitch through fences. They cannot push each other through fences. They cannot push each other into blocks and suffocate into blocks, which is how some of my villagers in that other farm over there died. In fact, let's fall down and anyway, let's go over there and see what that farm is like, and I'll show you the glitchivator. But anyway, they can't glitch through. In the old farm, some of the villagers, they glitched through the sides and fell to their deaths. Well, fell into the water. It would have been their deaths if I hadn't had water underneath it. In fact, the first couple, they did fall to their deaths because when I found them down in the water, I went through and killed them. But anyway, yeah, so let's run down and take a good look at that. And have to remember not to get the minecart. jump right here. Now, what I have learned is having this AFK Fisher. In fact, I was going to use a glitchivator for these poles. Guess I'm not doing that. But having the AFK Fisher on top of a village is a very, very, very bad thing. Anyway, you can hear the zombie and the spider. They're in the mob system right below us, right down there. And what happens, this is the glitchivator. So when they die, you will start to see particles of their drops flying upwards. Any second now. Very seriously. Okay, right there. Gunpowder. Creeper died. Arrows, bones. Skeleton died. That's the glitchivator. They fixed it. It won't happen anymore. Those particles would sit down at the bottom. Let's see. Nope, one more. That is the scariest thing I've ever had to deal with. I mean, seriously. Because you can't really tell when you're actually going to stop. Okay, so the glitchivator right here. Items come rushing through. There is 2 fence posts here. Glass on these sides so that the post is just a post connected to that post. But this post has connections all the way around. Which that post in this current version is read as a solid block, and this post is not. The items will go right past this post into that post and say, hey, you have to go up, or you have to find an empty spot. Well, when it checks, it says that's not empty, that one's not empty, that one's not empty, that one's not empty. So it moves upward to the next available block and does the whole process again. That's how the glitchivator works. Now, these items will stop right here. And they won't pass that first post. Now, this is good, this is bad. It is good the animals will no longer glitch out of their pens. I had built an elaborate system to keep animals from being able to escape. They did that for me. But in doing that, they broke this elevator system. So, I have to do this to where I don't fall. Oh, I don't know if I ever showed this off. As you can see, it's the same type of system that I have for my squid farm. Individual hoppers point down into a chest. Those 2 chests, or these 2 chests, sorry, go into a single chest that's over there. The chest that's over there and the chest that's over there go down into this one. So every time they merge together, it cuts the number of chests in half. And then down here under each of these 4 main chests, it drops into the water stream and allows it to come through. What that does is it adds a major buffer to the system to where mobs, if the dropping system into the water can't keep up, the mobs can drop tons and tons and tons of resources that would be stored down there just waiting to be processed. Okay, this is the redstone for the farm itself. What happens is these platforms, these spawning platforms, sometimes water is on, sometimes water is off. When the water is on, it pushes them to the center and they fall down to that area down there. When the water is off, they can spawn. And if I remember right, it goes every other row is on and then every other row is off as this thing cycles. And it's just a simple, wow, just a simple hopper clock, right? I have it on a long cycle so that things can spawn on one side while on the empty spots while water's running on the other spots. And then once the water stops, you have to have a certain amount of time for the water to drain out and dissipate. But anyway, that's my mob system. I do plan on building another one when we move to the new area. It's going to be communal. It's going to have the AFK Fisher basically where this thing is, because this won't be able to be there in the new spawn area. But I have a little bit of gunpowder. Oh, haven't even started using that other chest. I have a couple of bones, which I'm going to go ahead and take that for bone meal right now. I have a few arrows, which I definitely do not need. There's a little bit of zombie flesh, which I can trade with a villager. The string I have cleared out multiple times, but then I stopped doing this after I built my mob farm down there. And then this is the miscellaneous, and occasionally I'll come and clean this out. This is the most valuable resource that this miscellaneous collects. This is where the witches drop most of their drops, and obviously the spider eyes can be either witches or spiders. But yeah, this little farm I absolutely, positively love. I'm going to be building that thing down there once again in the new spawn area. What I have not figured out is where or how. Well, basically, we don't have a spot for the where yet, so there you go. The reason I'm taking the bones with me right now is so that I can bone mill those trees. This was a disappointment. I don't know if anybody remembers this. I was going to have an ice farm right up on top of here. My old village that was on my private server, my private world, was not in a swamp, and I had an ice farm built up on top. It was in the biome that allowed ice to form, and so that's what this was testing. I had an infinite water source here, and I was testing to see if I could get the blocks to freeze, and they didn't. That was a disappointment. Oh, this. I still need to come tear the rest of this down. What happened is, while I was tearing it down, I managed to get all of the rails picked up and was chopping the half slabs and the full blocks up, and my pick needed to be repaired, so I went down to sit at the farm and repair it, and then totally forgot to come back. Apparently, right? Ooh, there's an idea. I have plenty of gunpowder, plenty of sand. We may have some fun. And thanks to Diol, I have plenty of redstone, so I could actually remote detonate it. Yeah, we may have some fun next week, or the week after, or whenever I get around to it. Anyway, guys, I have recorded a little bit longer than normal. Twitch chat has been very, well, quite frankly, empty. I'm assuming that it's because I started late. You know, had some things to take care of, and even though I try to be professional about this and have a schedule, life has to happen first, and today it did. So anyway, I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna bone mill me some regular oak so I can finish that path in the nether. I want you guys to know that I do appreciate the love and support that you've given me, sticking with me through my various antics. That was fast. Here on the server. For those that normally join me for Twitch, I thank you. I appreciate your love and support. So, as always, my